Hi everybody and welcome back to the 75th season of Bearcat Update. I'm your host Jason Holland and today we'll be updating you on how the seasons are looking for our fall sports. From volleyball's big win to soccer's draw against one of the best and everything in between. Cue the intro. The Bearcat football team's 4-game win streak came to an end this weekend against Central Oklahoma. Although the defense held UCO's MIAA leading rush attack to only 79 yards, the same cannot be said about the passing game, as UCO had 451 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. Junior quarterback for the Bearcats, though, Chris Runke tallied his 3rd game over 300 passing yards, 92 of which coming in the way of sophomore receiver Eric Richardson. The late third quarter push by the Bearcats brought them back within 2 scores, but it wasn't enough as the Bearcats dropped their 3rd straight game on the road in Edmond. The Bearcats look to redeem themselves next weekend in a highly anticipated homecoming matchup against the UCM Mules. Kickoff is at 2. As the Bearcats took on former Northwest head coach Adam Dorrell this weekend, our reporter Reece Hill takes a look back at history of our Bearcat football coaches.
In the last 30 years, Northwest Missouri State football has had just 3 head coaches, Mel Churchma, Adam Dorrell, and Rich Wright. All 3 coaches have had success in their stints at the university. All 3 coaches have played major parts in leading the Bearcats to national titles. But how do they compare to one another? Adam Dorrell got his start with Northwest as a player in 1994. An All-American offensive lineman and 3-time captain, Dorrell would have a brief stint as a graduate assistant in 1999, before returning to the program as the offensive line coach in 2004, later being promoted to offensive coordinator in 2007. Dorrell's stint as head coach, though the shortest on this list, can be summed up in one word: dominant. In his 6 years at the helm, the Bearcats would compile a 76-8 record, which featured 4 MIAA crowns, 3 undefeated seasons, and 3 national championships. Rich Wright previously served as defensive line coach and special teams coordinator from 2004 to 2010. Upon Adam Dorrell being named head coach in 2011, Wright took over as defensive coordinator and assistant head coach. As defensive coordinator, Northwest's defense allowed just 15.7 points per game across 6 seasons. Adam Dorrell's departure from the program following the 2016 season resulted in Wright getting promoted to the head coaching position. Prior to the start of the 2024 season, Wright has led the Bearcats to a 59-17 record, capturing 3 MIAA titles along the way. Northwest made quarterfinal appearances in 2019 and 2021, but is yet to return to the championship game under Wright. Last, but certainly not least, we have the man who started it all. When Mel Churchma arrived at Northwest in 1994, following a fairly successful decade at Austin College, the Bearcats were far from the program they would soon become. Things started rough for Churchma, as the team went winless in his first season as head coach. However, in year 2, the Bearcats would win 6 games, followed by an 11-win season, an MIAA title, and a trip to the playoffs in 1996. In year 5 under Churchma, the city of Maryville was delivered its first ever national championship. Churchma would go on to coach for 17 seasons at Northwest before his retirement in 2010, tallying a record of 183 wins and 43 losses. In that time, he guided the team to 12 conference titles, 7 appearances in the national championship game, and 3 victories in that game. Churchma was the architect that built Northwest Missouri State into the perennial contender it has been for nearly 30 years, as well as the man who brought his eventual successors into the fold and my pick for the greatest head coach in program history.
Thanks, Reece. UCO's winning ways against the Bearcats spilled over to the volleyball court Friday as the Bearcats dropped a 3-1 match to the number 11 ranked Broncos. Things were looking good for the girls in green after a late first set triumph, but the undefeated Broncos marched back, winning the following 3 sets. For more on Tuesday's match, we're going to send it over to our reporter, Skyler Stamps.
It's rivalry night here inside Bearcat Arena as the Missouri Western State Griffins have made the 45-minute road trip up here to Maryville from St. Joseph. Missouri Western comes into this game 12-3 overall, 3 wins, 1 loss here in the MIAA. Northwest, on the other hand, 8 wins, 6 losses, and an even 2 wins, 2 loss in the MIAA. Last season, Northwest won 3-0 in St. Joseph, but Missouri Western won 3-0 here in Maryville. We're in for a good one tonight. It was another 5-set thriller between the Bearcats and the Griffins as Peyton Kirchhofer got things rolling for the Bearcats in set 1 with this kill. Kirchhofer led the Bearcats in the match with 14 kills. Bearcats would take set 1 25-20. Missouri Western regrouped and took set 2 25-22 and set 3 25-21 over the Bearcats to lead 2-1. In the 4th set, though, the Bearcats were down 13-12 before scoring 6 straight points, including 3 kills from Olivia Durr, including this laser. Durr had 8 on the night. The Bearcats would win 25-20, forcing a 5th set. Northwest saw a 5-3 deficit early in the 5th set, but that would be the only time the Bearcats trail in the final frame. Northwest went on 2 runs of 4 in the final set. With the score 14-10, Avery Kemp would end the match with this kill straight down the middle as Northwest wins it over rival Missouri Western. Senior all-around hitter Abby Brunson tallied 11 kills on the match and a team-high 6 blocks. Brunson says what the win meant for her and her team.
Obviously, it's great to beat Mo West. It's a crosstown rival type of thing, and I think we're just very motivated right now. Obviously, we want to protect our home court. We didn't perform great against Mo West last season at home, so we were very motivated to get it done, and everybody was on the same page and working towards the same goal.
Northwest has an abundance of senior leadership this year, and Brunson says how big of an impact that has had on the Bearcats.
Obviously, we have 5 of us that have been here for 5 years, and then 4 of us, or 7 of us in total, are all seniors. So we all trust each other, and we all know how to communicate really well on and off the court, which I think is really special. And obviously there's going to be bumps in the road, but we all know how to lead, and we know how to lead off of each other.
Northwest was back in action on Friday and Saturday. Jason will give you the highlights. Reporting for Bearcat Update, I'm Skyler Stamps.
Thanks, Skyler. The volleyball team turned the page fast with a dominant 3-0 victory in their first matchup against new MIAA opponent, Arkansas Fort Worth. Senior Peyton Kirchhofer led the way with 13 kills and 11 digs. The Bearcats are back in action this Friday at Newman. As the ladies prepare, our reporter Zac Scott sat down with sophomore Ella Caffery. Take it away, Zac.
Welcome back to Tenacity, the show where we cover the highest energy team at Northwest, being the volleyball team. Last week, we got to talk with Abby Brunson and Olivia Durr about their season plans and what got them to Northwest. Today, we get to talk with Setter Ella Caffery about her future plans and aspirations after her time at Northwest is over.
I played at Iowa Select my 17 and 18s year of club, and then last spring I was looking for an internship. So I reached out to my old coach, who was also the club director, and he said he'd be willing to offer me an internship there. So this summer I just organized camps, coached a lot, and really got my feet in the water of how it's like to be a club director and just organize a club like that.
Caffery has aspirations to coach high-level women's volleyball after she finishes her degree at Northwest.
I feel like I've had a lot of good coaches in my life, a lot of good leaders, and I just like to give my knowledge to younger players, and I think it'd be fun to do that at any level.
Caffery has a ton of people to look up to as coaches. Head coach Amy Worth is one of them, her coaches from Iowa Select, and even her own family members.
Both my parents are coaches. My mom coaches at the high school I went to, and my dad coaches club. He coaches my little sister at Iowa Select. So yeah, lots of coaches in my family, and I just think it's fun. I love volleyball, so spending as much time around it as I can.
Caffery is looking to coach in warmer places where her top choice would be with the UCLA Bruins. Now, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching, and make sure to cheer on your Bearcat volleyball team. Back to you, Jason.
Thanks, Zach. The Bearcat soccer team welcomed the number 5 ranked UCM Jennies to Bearcat pitch Friday in what turned out to be an action-packed affair. After a high-paced start which saw 5 goals in the first 18 minutes, the Jennies hopped out to a 3-2 lead. A penalty kick by sophomore Henema Arnau evened it up going into halftime. After dropping the lead in the 49th minute, a perfectly executed corner kick by junior Darian Gordon evened up the score once again. The match ended in a 4-4 draw. The Cats are back in action today as they welcome Rogers State to Bearcat pitch. Good luck, ladies. Hey, it's halftime. If you like what you see, make sure to like and subscribe and click the bell to be the first to know when we post new content. But as we head into our first break of the show, make sure to stick around to catch our meeting with the cheer team. We'll be right back.
Unlike other organizations on and around campus, here, the students do it all.
KNWT is a student-run and student-produced television station.
To support this content, you can go to our YouTube channel at KNWT Channel 8.
And watch the latest shows or even enjoy blasts from the past.
Creative Services has been lurking in the shadows of student media, giving insight into the hard work behind every mass media student's contribution. We are creating national award-winning commercials promoting KNWT. We animate, navigate, and collaborate to display all of the unseen corners of our media outlets. Our mission is dedicated to showing off KNWT and our great work like never before.
What's up, everybody? This is Steve-O. What's up, everybody? This is Steve-O. You're watching KNWT, practically the national champs of college TV. Yeah.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update. Our reporter Jake Walker sat down with one of his teammates on the cheer team so you can get to know them and their story. Take it away, Jake.
Welcome back to Meet the Cheer Team. This week, we're stepping away from our veteran top girls and taking a look at one of our rookies.
Hi everyone, my name is Kari Dawson. I am a freshman this year at Northwest Missouri State studying sports medicine, and I'm a back spot on the team.
With many options on the table, Kari found Northwest as the leading choice to begin her college career.
I started cheering my freshman year of high school, and I randomly had a thought of joining the cheer team, and so I tried out my 8th grade year and started cheering all throughout high school. And then my junior year of high school, that's when I decided I wanted to continue cheerleading. I wasn't sure where, but my senior year of high school, I toured Northwest, and I honestly fell in love with it. I talked with the coaches here. All the athletes seemed super nice. And so now I'm here cheering, and I love it.
Part of being a great cheerleader is giving back to the sport you love. And Kari was lucky enough to take part in giving back over the summer.
I worked for UCA this summer, and that stands for Universal Cheerleading Association. It's just a high school camp and college camp that athletes go to throughout the summer just to gain skills, not just physically, but also create team memories throughout the 4 days or 2 days of the camp. And what that looked like, it was super fun. I got to travel all throughout the summer. I got to go to Wisconsin and Ohio a couple times. It was amazing. I got to meet so many cool people and also just explore my relationship with cheer. It was incredible. I got to meet so many cool athletes as well, but honestly, like, teaching cheerleading to high school athletes was definitely the best.
Coming into a new environment can be intimidating, but Kari has taken to Northwest like a duck to water.
If I was talking to someone who'd want to try out for Bearcat cheer, I'd definitely tell them to go for it. I was obviously scared at first. I didn't know if I'd fit in, but honestly, there is a place for everyone here. Everyone here is for each other. There's been a couple hard times for some other people, and we're all there for each other through everything. Even outside of cheer practicing and lifting, we're all there for each other. If I was talking to someone who wants to try out, I'd definitely tell them to push themselves and try for it, because you only live once in life, and so I'd push anyone to try out. Even if they're interested in the slightest bit, I would totally tell them to go for it.
That's all the time we have with the cheer team. We're going to swing this one back over to your host. Take it away, Jason.
Hey Cats, we're here at Bearcat Arena, Bearcat Stadium.
Thanks, Jake. For the second consecutive week, the Bearcat golf team has broken a school record, this time coming in the form of the Northwest 18-hole record, beating it by 5 strokes at the Great Shin Regional Preview. Senior Madeline Schlepfer finished 11th overall, securing her position with a second-round 72. Senior Paige Hoffman tied for first place, winning a 5-hole playoff for medalist honors and breaking her own 36-hole school record with 138. The Bearcats placed 7th as a squad and will compete in their last competition of the year here at Mozingo Lake this week in the Midwest Classic. Senior Paige Hoffman's efforts at the Great Shin Regional Preview awarded her not only first place in the tournament, but also MIAA Golfer of the Week honors. But she is not the only Bearcat who rests atop of the individual honors category this week, as junior goalkeeper Lily Ellis was awarded MIAA Goalkeeper of the Week with her 2 shutout efforts against UCO and Newman. As our teams continue to succeed, it is always great to see our hardworking Bearcats shine in the spotlight. Great job, ladies. We're going to shift gears here for a bit as football fanatics Wiley Ray and Jackson Phelps of X106.7 are going in depth on yesterday's loss to Central Oklahoma.
Thanks, Jason. I'm Wiley Ray, and with me is Jackson Phelps. And Jackson, it was an unfortunate loss for the Bearcats yesterday in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Very unfortunate loss. You know, tough offense to go up and play against in Jed Huff, a transfer from University of Houston. Definitely the best passer in the MIAA. So defense had it, heavy. They could not get it figured out quick, and ultimately UCO took that and ran with it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Central Oklahoma's total yards, 530 total yards, 450 of them in the air. And, you look at Northwest's offense, 376 total yards. Offense slow to start, to say the least. They were down 24-7 at the half. And, minus those miscues, Jackson, who was your MVP of yesterday's game?
My MVP is going to be Eric Richardson from last game. He had 5 receptions, 92 yards and a touchdown. Definitely made some heck of a plays. He had 2 great jumping catches, and honestly, he had the 2 best plays that I've seen that he got to perform all year. So got him involved in the game early on and let him kind of go off. So that's my MVP is Eric Richardson.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it simple. We're going to go with the general on the field. Give me Chris Ruhnke for the MVP. And, you look at Ruhnke, goes 25 for 48, 309 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. And then he also goes on the run game, 8 attempts, 41 yards, and 1 rushing touchdown there. And, you take away those 2 interceptions and the 2 sacks he had, still a good game for Ruhnke nonetheless, passing the ball.
100% seeing Chris Ruhnke kind of, mitigate the field there, even though a tough defense to go up against and away, he still managed the game pretty well. Minus the turnovers, I still think Ruhnke still had a really good game. He can control the offense as much as he could with the plays that he was given. So honestly, Ruhnke, great pick.
All righty. When we come back, we'll be talking about the homecoming matchup between the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats and the Central Missouri Jennies. We'll be right back after this.
Television connects. We put our heart and soul into delivering a quality broadcast just for you. Whether it's sports, community events, and much more, we have fun bringing these events to you. KNWT Live brings that feeling of being at Northwest anywhere you go. So join us in the experience.
Welcome back to BC with the X. I'm Wiley Ray, and with me is Jackson Phelps. And Jackson, we already talked about how the Bearcats took the loss yesterday against Central Oklahoma, and now going up to this week, they play Central Missouri, and we talked about the Jennies as the Bearcats soccer team took the tie to number 5 Central Missouri to kind of kick things off here with the Bearcats and the Mules and Jennies. But this weekend, it's going to be a great game for homecoming.
I think so too. KNWT is going to be hosting the parade. Another great parade, great festivities for the game. So the Mules coming into town for, it's going to be a great environment. Bearcat Stadium is going to be filled. So, the game, honestly, I think it'll be the best game of the year for the Bearcats. Coming off a tough loss against UCO, another great offense in UCM. It's definitely going to be another test. But difference is UCM doesn't have as predominant of a defense. So I think the Bearcats have a great chance to get a tough win and to get back into the playoff talk.
Yeah, you kind of look at last year's when the Bearcats fell 41-38. They were down 24-7 at the half, and you kind of look at that and you sit there and go, it's in Maryville, Missouri this time. The Bearcats playing on their home turf, which they've been successful on the home turf as of late, and so you just look at all of the festivities going on. We have the parade, KNWT performing the live broadcast. With that, KZLX ourselves will be bringing you the pregame show and live coverage of the game. Yeah. In student media and also in athletics, there are a lot of things going on for us right now.
Lots of things, lots of great things to talk about for this next week's game. I mean, this game can be covered for the whole entire week, so really cool to see how well this game can be brought out by the student media. Love to see, getting to see the parade and the pregame show brought by KZLX. Bearcats are 23-4 against UCM in their all-time series, so the Bearcats have always had the upper edge against the Mules. So really excited to see what is going to happen here in Maryville next weekend for homecoming.
Yeah, I mean, it just already has me excited, and we're just 6 days away from the game, and you love the homecoming festivities that take place in Maryville, whether that's the variety show on Thursday, the homecoming parade on Saturday, or even the game itself on Saturday. It's still nonetheless to have a great atmosphere for homecoming. But as we wrap up this week's edition of Bearcat Update, our reporter Jaden Varner is going to preview next week's Bearcat schedule. Take it away, Jaden.
Thanks, Wiley, and welcome back to Next Week in Bearcat Sports, the show that keeps you in the know. I'm Jaden Varner, and this week is a great week to be a Bearcat fan. It's homecoming week, which means campus is going to be crazy, and Bearcat Stadium is going to be rocking for this Saturday for football. Coming to town are the Mules from Central Missouri. It's been an odd season for the Mules, very close games this year, scoring an average of 38 points a game and allowing an average of about 35 points a game. Their offense has been one of the better MIAA, currently the second best. The Bearcat defense has been one of, and at times, the best unit in the MIAA. They have absolutely been tested these last couple of weeks and have stood tall when the team has needed them to. Last week, they were thrown off guard as they expected a run-heavy attack and instead were met with an air raid approach. They have had one of the better passing defenses through this season and will look to bring that identity back this week against the Mules. The Bearcats are 23-4 against the Mules all time. They lost the last matchup against them in a shootout. My player spotlight this week should be able to keep that from happening. Austin McKinney has been playing great football and leads the team in pass breakups. I'll take the Bearcats this week to get a bounce-back win, 34-20. Soccer will be back in action on Friday against Fort Hays. They'll have a busy slate coming up as they have just 6 games left this season. Soccer is in action as of this show going live, so once you're done watching this, go make sure to support them. Let's get back on track here. When we last saw soccer, they tied with number 5 ranked Central Missouri, which moved them to 4-2-5 on the season. Let's take a closer look at this week's matchup against Fort Hays. Fort Hays comes in at 5-3-3. 2 of the last 3 losses have come in the last 3 games, allowing 8 goals in that span. The Bearcats will need to capitalize on that weakness and look for Hamina Arno to be the one that can, as she's my spotlight player for soccer this week. I anticipate a close one, however, with the Bearcats winning 1-0. Looking at volleyball this week, they'll be in action on Friday and Saturday, which has been the norm for them. They'll take a nice trip to Kansas, heading to Wichita on Friday to take on Newman, and it's Pittsburgh to take on Pittsburgh State. Looking at the Newman game, Newman has not played well this season as they are 3-17 so far. I'll take the Bearcats in this one, winning that match 3-1. Looking at Saturday's matchup against Pittsburgh State, they have been on par with the Bearcats this season as they are 8-8 as of right now and are coming off a win. The Bearcats will have their hands full and look for Olivia Durr to step up to the challenge as she's my spotlight player for volleyball this week. and she'll look to help deliver a win for the Bearcats against Pittsburgh State 3-2. As always, make sure to go out and support your Bearcats and get out and enjoy homecoming this week. Get excited for no classes on Friday, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Jaden. But that's all the time that we have for Bearcat Update. I'm your host, Jason Holland, and this has been Bearcat Update, the provider of complete coverage of Northwest sports. We are live every Sunday at 1, and you can find us on YouTube at KNWT TV. As well as Bearcat Update, you can watch KNWT's other content as well. Thank you all for watching, and we'll be back in no time.